At Cirrus Aircraft, safety has always been the driving factor behind the design of every airplane that's rolled off the factory floor in Duluth, Minnesota. The Cirrus Airframe Parachute System, or CAPS, well, that represents the ultimate manifestation of a cultural top-down commitment to general aviation safety. And while the concept of a full airframe parachute was available in other aircraft before the first Cirrus was ever designed, parachutes were always offered as additional equipment, thus sacrificing room, payload, and just the general utility from the airplane's original design. Not exactly an easy sell for most prospective airplane owners. So to make the full airframe parachute concept successful, Cirrus knew that CAPS must be purposefully integrated into the design right from the drawing board. It needed to be easy to use, reliable, and most importantly, fully supported by the manufacturer. Cirrus has always aimed at revamping general aviation by designing an airplane that is safer because it is easy to use, safer because advancements in technology allow the pilot to have more options than ever before. CAPS is not there because pilots aren't capable or because the airplane is any less robust. CAPS has always been a standard system in every Cirrus airplane because it works. It provides Cirrus pilots and their families with peace of mind. With CAPS, they know there's always one last reliable option in that incredibly rare instance that all other options have been exhausted. In the field, CAPS has been proven time and again with an incredible record of success when deployed within the demonstrated airspeed and altitude performance envelope, and in numerous cases where it's been deployed well outside of that flight-tested envelope. So what we're talking about here is that it's actually been deployed successfully at sometimes significantly faster airspeeds and significantly lower altitudes than test pilots had originally demonstrated during the test phase. The system is simple. Pull the red handle. That's it. In those rare, time-critical, high-intensity, potentially life-threatening scenarios, it has to be that simple. And all of us, yes, even those of us who fly daily here at Cirrus Aircraft, all of us need to recognize and embrace our very human reaction to those types of scenarios. It's in our nature to not want to give up, to continue fighting, or maybe to freeze or become hyper-focused on one thing, maybe tunneling our vision and forgetting about other options, such as CAPS, that might be available.
And CAPS is available.
Continuous, CAPS-specific training from your local Cirrus training partner, say every 6 months or so. Well, that's key to molding your attitude and your general approach towards CAPS, should you ever face a situation that might require you to use it. In this lesson, we'll start with a discussion about aeronautical decision-making to sort of frame your approach to using CAPS. Then let's learn about CAPS itself to gain a technical understanding of the system and to remove any of the mystery that might be surrounding CAPS activation, deployment, and its general operation. Then we'll finish up by doing a little bit of soul searching, and we'll try to put you right there in that pilot's seat to at least begin anticipating your potential reaction as pilot in command, again in that rare instance that you should ever need to use CAPS. The ultimate goal of this lesson is to increase your confidence in knowing when and how to use CAPS as your ultimate backup. And just as any well-trained fighter pilot would almost instinctively know when to punch out, when to identify a bad situation, humble themselves, and pull the handle on their life-saving ejection seat, well, we want you to feel confident in committing to using CAPS should some in-flight emergency ever require its use. So let's start building your confidence right now. And pictures speak a lot louder than words. Here you go. Most of the stories in those images ended with minimal or no injury to the occupants. And most importantly, 0 fatalities. In fact, many of those airplanes were repaired and put right back into service. According to a study conducted at Wright State University, you're 13 times more likely to survive an accident in a Cirrus airplane when CAPS is used. As of this recording, CAPS has been directly responsible for returning 172 people to their families. And by the time you watch this video, there's a chance that that number has increased. The system works. The rest is up to you.
I noticed, I heard a sound, and you know, as a pilot, how that, I sat up and looked at the gauges, and I'm just approximately guessing the time, probably maybe 15 to 20 seconds, it made a loud noise, and the prop stopped.
Now I open up the valve for the aft fuel tank to transfer into the wings. And what happened was when I opened up this valve, I just saw this air bubble sit there on top of this clear line and just sit there. So there's something there. There's something that's stopping this flow. There's something going on. And unfortunately, it's going to put me about 200 miles short of Hawaii.
Right when when that engine stopped, if I had not gotten control of myself, I could have panicked. And I think you know what the outcome would be if I would have done that.
The only thing I could do is now I've just declared an emergency for November 7 Yankee Tango. I'm having an issue with my fuel system that's not transferring.
I've had a lot of good instructors over the years, and training took over, and I went through the checklist mentally that I needed to do. You force yourself to do what you know how to do.
It's ingrained in the head of you've got this parachute system. It never really crossed my mind to really do a ditching.
Now, I had never deployed the chute, but it worked to perfection exactly like they said it would.
What it did for me for that day was allow me to live through the whole day and allowed me to survive without any injuries, which is, I mean, in an aircraft is rare to be able to say, to survive an incident without any injuries. And that's exactly what that system did for me, just as designed.
I'm not calling it a crash. I call it an incident. And that's what the FAA called it. They called it an incident. Because there was so little damage done to the airplane, they called it an incident.
That CAP system isn't just for you, it's for everybody else in the plane and for everybody else on the ground. And it adds a huge extra margin of safety to me. I mean, it's my life jacket, my raft with me, and I've got a parachute system with me as well.
Any other airplane, I had 0 chance of survival in the dark from 5,000 feet.